Disclaimer: purpose of this video is educational and informative. Amateur. Imagine doing it with your partner with no scripts, fancy lights, big cameras, and hotshot directors. Instead, what you have is a simple home camera, probably even just a smartphone, and you do it naturally, without anyone dictating what positions you need to do and how long you have to last. That's the amateur genre. It's basically reality TV with fewer arguments and a lot more skin. Think of it as someone handed a camera to their neighbor and said, "Go wild." That's why it's as natural as it can get, even if lighting and camera angles may be a bit off. The best part about this genre is how natural and imperfect it is. There's no need for anyone to wear makeup or drink something that would make them rock hard for days. It's just pure lovemaking, without anyone having to pretend to be a plumber to get some action. You also have to consider that these people aren't actors. That means they react like normal people do, often giggling, smiling, or even striking up a conversation mid-coitus. Sometimes someone forgets where the camera is. Basically, it's a very honest genre that's more honest than that banana labeled organic in your grocery store. In a lot of cases, amateur videos don't involve fake step-siblings. Instead, they have real couples, or probably friends with benefits, who probably thought they could make a few bucks out of uploading one of their products. The body has more than one hole you can put your things in. This may be the reason why God struck down Sodom and Gomorrah, but a lot of people today like adult films where intimate action happens through the back door. People enjoy this genre for all sorts of reasons. Some get a thrill from the Forbidden Zone vibe, kind of like eating dessert before dinner. It's also said that the backroom action can be tighter and more intense, as per some sources and articles online. Not saying I have first-hand experience, but you get the picture. Anal scenes also come in all shapes and sizes. Some include solo stuff with toys, while others work in pairs, like an awkward and maybe even painful group project. But unlike normal adult videos, there's a lot of work that goes into anal videos. That's because your hole isn't exactly clean, especially if you're coming off Taco Tuesday. In most cases, performers clean themselves out with enemas, which is the human version of unclogging the pipes. Meanwhile, lubricants become the unsung heroes and the real MVPs of the scene because the anus doesn't naturally lubricate itself. Without it, things go from hot and steamy to the emergency room very quickly. BDSM. BDSM is basically the alphabet soup of adult entertainment. It stands for bondage, dominance, submission, and masochism. It's all about power play, but with safe words and leather instead of swords and dragons. One person takes control, and the other hands it over like a set of car keys and says, "Don't crash it." And yes, both parties sign up for the ride willingly. You'll see ropes, blindfolds, cuffs, paddles, and sometimes outfits that look like someone raided a superhero costume shop. It's not about hurting people for fun. Instead, it's about creating feelings of trust and tension while ensuring no one cries in the corner. Some people enjoy being tied up, giving them that extra thrill they can't get in normal intimate action. It's an adult friendship with very strange accessories. Roleplay is also a big element in most BDSM films. You could see someone acting as a boss, while the other one is the assistant. Suddenly, you're watching a very intense version of Office Life, except the dress code includes latex. These roles are fake, but the reactions are real. But the one thing you should know about BDSM is that while it looks dangerous and painful, the golden rule is safe, sane, and consensual. That means everyone talks first, agrees on what's okay, and remembers this isn't a gladiator match. There's always a safety word. Think of it like the adult version of yelling "time out" in dodgeball. These films are for adults who know that real relationships require communication instead of just whips and chains. What looks wild on screen is usually planned, down to the last knot. Behind the scenes, people talk more than a group of parents at a PTA meeting. Safety comes first, second, and third, with fun coming in at last place. Cream pie. A cream pie isn't a dessert, although you're welcome to try it after the main course, but it does involve cream. The difference is that it's not the type of cream you get from a canister. Instead, it's a very natural cream that may or may not have the sweetness you desire, unless there's pineapple juice involved. Basically, the cream pie genre focuses on finishing the deed inside your partner. Yes, that's how an intimate moment is supposed to be before we found out we could do it outside, or wear rubber to avoid paying child support. It's basically all about the gooey grand finale that doesn't need napkins. You may like this genre because this is what real intimate moments are all about. It takes discipline and self-control to not do it and pull out at the last moment, but cream videos allow you to live your fantasy of staying in there the entire time, as if you're waiting for the post-credit scenes to a Marvel movie. There's also how some people love a fake sense of danger, like smoking a cigarette at the gas pump. But because not every female is on birth control and probably doesn't want to spend the next 9 months looking like a whale, there are also some videos that fake stuff. They bring in yogurt, lotion, or whatever goo they can find in the arts and crafts section. So you might think it's pure passion, but it's really just a spoonful of vanilla snack pack. If you're enjoying this video so far, please subscribe. Double penetration, DP. No one ever said intimate action should only involve 2 people. Sometimes it could be 3 or more, because there's more than one hole that you can fill up. That's what the double penetration, or DP genre, is for. It's when one very busy body simultaneously gets attention from 2 different directions. One person is usually the center of the action, getting a visit from 2 guests, one through the front door and one through the back. It's like a very adult version of multitasking, but with fewer spreadsheets and more body parts. The people doing the penetrating are usually men, and the one being penetrated is often trying not to tip over like a human seesaw. Positioning matters, because if they mess up the angles, the whole thing turns into a game of adult Twister with terrible consequences. It's not just bodies connecting, because it's also about engineering, coordination, trust, and maybe a physics teacher coordinating the whole thing. Ultimately, this genre exists for people who like it big and bold. It's not a quiet or gentle kind of intimate action because of how loud and intense it can get, but it might be something left to the pros because it's not for amateurs. It's essentially 2-for-1 adult chaos with extra sweat. BBW, Big Beautiful Woman. It means exactly what it sounds like. Essentially, it involves curvy women who take up the entire screen and don't apologize for it. These aren't the girls who eat salads for lunch. They're the type who will ask the waiter for an extra helping of fries. BBW isn't for people who love seeing abs, because these films focus on women with fuller bodies. It's a refreshing change from the usual gym selfie girls. Instead, you get the types who are more likely to say, "Pass the gravy," instead of, "I'm full." That's why the stars don't hide their curves. They probably had steak before filming. In turn, you get softness, jiggle, and a lot of attitude. And these women aren't background extras. Instead, they are the whole movie, the snack, the meal, and the dessert with whipped cream. Meanwhile, the cameras don't shy away from anything because they zoom in like they're filming a nature documentary about majestic thighs in the wild. The action in BBW films usually moves a bit slower because it has to involve a lot of grabbing and squeezing. After all, that's the best way to appreciate curves. You'll even hear the best sound effects in these videos, because moans sound like someone just found out pie is back on the menu. It's basically about soaking in every glorious roll and curve like they're national treasures. Fake casting. Imagine going to a job interview where you have to sit on a black couch while the guy interviewing you asks some very personal questions. It's not about your past work experience or any of the qualifications or college degrees you earned. Instead, the questions are more about the degree of the angle you're willing to bend your body. That's some of the things that can happen in a casting adult video. These videos involve someone walking in like they're applying for a job at a cafe, but instead of making lattes, they're about to make life choices in front of a camera. And the only thing that matters in their resume is their flexibility. We're not talking about the work hours. The scene usually starts with someone pretending to be brand new. They say a few lines like they just wandered in from a modeling gig that paid in pizza slices. The whole thing is designed to look casual, like someone forgot this wasn't a dentist's office. There's usually a couch, a camera, and a level of awkward small talk that you probably always skip. You'll notice a camera person or pretend director who acts like they're running a talent agency out of a basement. This person gives instructions like they're filming the next Hollywood blockbuster. The performer nods like they're signing a mortgage, but they're just getting ready for some very creative stretching. Some of these scenes go full back room style. The lighting is bad, the sound is echoey, and the decor screams budget motel from the 90s. That's part of the charm. It's not supposed to look professional because the viewer needs to think it's something that was filmed during a real interview. And a lot of people are into this stuff because it seems spontaneous, even though we all know they're just acting. It's not about the plot, drama, or action. Instead, it's more about the vibe of having an intimate moment with someone during what seems to be a legit job interview. Cuckold. If you're into the cuckold genre, that means you may have serious issues that need professional help. That's because the cuckold genre is like a weird game of musical chairs where the one guy never gets a seat and just watches the others dance. Basically, it stars a man who knows his partner is getting it on with someone else, but doesn't do anything about it. The guy who likes watching his wife having an intimate moment is called the cuckold. Hundreds of years ago, it meant your wife cheated on you and everyone laughed behind your back. Now it means your wife cheats on you and everyone watches on purpose. Basically, it's no longer betrayal. Instead, it's more of an adult group project where two people do all the action while the other one brings snacks and watches. In some cuckold films, the cuckold might get mocked or made to feel like he's less of a man compared to the bull, the third party doing all the action. For some reason, this is part of the thrill, because some guys probably like getting roasted while their partner gets toasted. But in some cases, sharing is caring instead of shaming. Group. The group genre in intimate films is basically what happens when someone forgets to set a guest limit, and everyone shows up ready for some action. It's not your classic one-on-one date night, it's more like a human traffic jam, with a lot more sweat and fewer clothes. Everyone's involved, and nobody's waiting politely in line. In these scenes, there are usually 3 or more people getting busy at the same time. Think of it as extreme multitasking, but instead of emails and spreadsheets, it's legs, arms, and stretching. Most of the time, the setting is some kind of party or room. One minute, they're sipping wine. The next, everyone has a partner and they're ready to tango. In most cases, these films want to look spontaneous, as if everyone in the room got horny enough to go forth and multiply. And that's part of what makes this genre so appealing, because some people fantasize about attending a big party that suddenly turns into an intimate buffet. They tend to be a mess to organize for the film crew because the staff needs to ensure everything is organized. Timing matters here because no one wants to be stuck holding a weird pose while someone else forgets their cue. That's why performers need to stay focused. As for the crew, it's a challenge to find the right couple to focus on, especially when there's so much action happening. Lesbian films aren't only for women who like women, it's also for men, because many guys like it when 2 of their favorite things do the deed with each other. Think of it as someone cooking 2 of your favorite dishes for one meal. So just because there's no men in this genre, it doesn't mean it doesn't stop men from watching female intimacy in action. Some guys simply want to watch women enjoying each other without worrying about Johnny Sins making a surprise cameo. But there are also instances where these films are actually made for lesbians. In most cases, the scenes focus on deep emotional connection, where the build-up is slow, but very worth it. That means lots of eye contact and foreplay, while the weekend songs play in the background. Basically, it's like watching a soft, sensual yoga class, but with less downward dog and more horizontal motivation. But in lesbian films that specifically target men, it's more or less the same as regular movies, but without a guy involved. These versions tend to be louder, extravagant, and very intimate. Imagine women having pillow fights and suddenly deciding they need to take the fight to the next level. And in those films, the women performers are straight, but were simply asked to act as sexy lesbians to appeal to the male fantasy.